We need to get this mirror on some sort of list.
Hey, I'm legally required to tell you that my mirror my mirror is not allowed to be to be hung within 300 meters of a school. Welcome back to Short Pour, where we are still enjoying the season of the holiday spirits. We're your hosts. I'm Chris.
And I'm Brandon. This week, we are going to be checking out Death Apple, Apple Pie, Manchineel. And this one was an instant favorite when we were at Whiskey Fest this year.
Oh, yeah, dude. This one is so good, man. I'm so excited to drink it again.
I realize it's actually, I guess it's kind of weird than what we normally do, because we literally just had this. I feel like a lot of times we're drinking something new or something that we haven't had in a while, but this one, I know exactly what I'm getting, and it's exactly what I want to.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so for Death Apple, we have the Manchineel, or Death Apple, is an extremely poisonous tree found around the Caribbean and northern tropics. The present-day Spanish name is Manzanilla de la Muerte, Little Apple of Death. The tree has a milky white sap which contains numerous toxins in every part of the tree: the bark, the leaves, and the fruit. Death Apple does not contain any actual parts of the Manchineel, but if drank in excess, may simulate similar side effects. Please enjoy Death Apple responsibly. Dude, I looked up what an actual Manchineel is, right? They talked about the white sap.
Yeah, I looked them up too.
Apparently, if you get any part of the sap on you, they said even as small as just a raindrop, it will cause blistering on that spot.
Yeah, it said that a really common thing is if you stand under the tree when it's raining, then all of that stuff just drips on you, and it is apparently super painful.
Oh, even a raindrop with the sap in it will cause that.
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yes.
Okay. Apparently also if you burn the tree, then you run the risk of having ocular injuries if the smoke reaches your eyes.
Yep.
If you eat it, it says, although the fruit is potentially fatal, most of the time that doesn't actually happen, but if ingested, it does produce severe gastroenteritis with bleeding, shock, and bacterial superinfection, as well as the potential for airway compromise due to edema. They said for people that have tried the fruit, they claim when ingested, the fruit is reportedly, quote, pleasantly sweet at first, with a subsequent, quote, strange peppery feeling that gradually progresses to a burning, tearing sensation and tightness of the throat. Symptoms continue to worsen until the patient can barely swallow food because of the excruciating pain and the feeling of a huge obstructing pharyngeal lump.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
I guess it has the Guinness Book of World Record for being the most dangerous tree.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because they've said every part of this thing is designed to get us away from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I did also read that apparently when you burn it, it causes temporary blindness.
Jeez.
If you get the smoke in your eyes.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That's
there's
nuts.
A historical account of a ship's surgeon where I guess party members of the ship went to this island and they started cutting wood. And apparently some of the trees that they unluckily cut down, several of them were the Manchineel, the juice of which got in their eyes, rendering them blind for several days.
This was also not the tree, but Ponce de Leon, the explorer, was hit by an arrow that was dipped in the sap of a Manchineel tree, and that's what killed him.
Oh, dang. That's kind of badass, man. I mean, not for him,
it's
but
those I know, but it's those poison dart frogs where they dip the arrow and it's toxin, and you're yeah, if you get hit with this, you're done.
You're done. Yeah. Dang, that's crazy.
No more Fountain of Youth for him, I guess.
All right. I think we've delayed it enough. I want to taste this some bitch again.
Yeah, let's go for it. Dude.
It's so good, dude. It's dangerous.
I mean, it tastes exactly like an apple pie. It's just a liquid apple pie.
Yep. And even the because you can taste the alcohol in it. But
yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
But it's that it hides, or it's complemented with the apple pie so well that it just tastes like that deep spice from it's just a really spiced apple pie.
Yeah, and it's almost like it provides just like the warmness of biting into the apple pie. Like
Yeah.
it's just just finished cooling or whatever, and you're like, oh, it's still warm. Like this is perfect.
Dude, oh, it's so good, man. It's so good
That's a
for
good
like the
drink.
winter time. Oh.
Hmm. This is another one where I predict I won't find anyone that doesn't like it.
Yeah, that's fair. Dude, this is great for like this time of year also. Like around like
Yeah,
that Thanksgiving time and everything. Oh,
yeah.
perfect for it.
I mean, I'm gonna bring this around during Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't expect to have much at the start of the year.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it'll be gone.
We'll see how long it lasts. All right, so for this episode, I actually did think about doing stuff with the Manchineel
Mm-hmm.
because it's just like such a wild tree. Also, I realized that their back of the bottle is actually more of just a PSA about
Yeah.
not interacting with
Yeah.
that tree
That's true, yeah.
than other than anything else. But I was thinking about, deadly apples. And so we're actually going to go through the original Brothers Grimm story of Snow White.
Whoa, okay.
So, are you familiar with that version at all? I know we've both seen the Disney one, but do you know that story at all?
Does it have I'm pretty sure the Seven Dwarves were a Disney thing, right?
No, there's still Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, thank God. Okay, cool. So I guess I know that part.
Yep. I mean, it has a lot of similarities.
Okay. And I'm guessing she eats a Manchineel then?
No, it's not a Manchineel, but it is a
Okay.
poison apple.
Okay, okay.
So, the original German fairy tale was first published by the Brothers Grimm in 1812, and they kept like kind of revising it over the years, and they had their final revision of the story done in 1854.
Wow.
So I'm going to go through mostly. There's a ton of similarities between the two. I'll go through mostly the like revised version, I guess, and then I'll kind of like splice in like what they originally had written,
Okay.
and so we can check that out. So the original story opens up with a queen, and she's sewing at a window during snowfall, and she actually accidentally pokes her finger, and 3 drops of blood fall in the snow.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, when that happens, she then wishes that she had a daughter with skin white as snow, lips as red as blood, and hair as black as ebony. And I guess those drops were like the 3 wishes or magic wishes or something, because that eventually comes true, and she gives birth to Snow White.
Okay.
But something I was thinking, is White her last name or her middle name?
What would her last name be then? Snow White. What would their last name be?
I don't know.
Why would they be?
Oh, hold on. It says Snow White's last name is not given in the original story.
So it's her middle name?
I guess. Oh, this says that her last name is Grimhilda.
Grimhilda? Snow White Grimhilda.
But going back to the wishes that the queen had, she was Snow White. So if the queen had had another child, were they going to be blood red? And then the next one was going to be ebony black? Grimhilda?
Why? Wait, what? Yeah, well, because she does have the red lips, right?
No, yeah, she has all those features, but just like the mom named her Snow White. And they're like, oh, okay.
I gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, oh, we got blood red over here and ebony black. And like, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Oh, boy,
Like, what is
dude.
that?
Yeah.
It's just like a weird, like, okay, well. So I guess White's her middle name. Why did everyone call her by both names?
Yeah, so yeah, Snow White's the treasure of the family. Blood Red just turned out to be a villain, and Ebony Black is a performer.
Yeah. A dancer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the revised version, the queen dies during childbirth, and the dad remarries about a year later
Ooh.
to who becomes the stepmother. But in the original one, the queen lives. She survives childbirth, and she ends up just showing all of the traits of the stepmother later on. Like she's the one that.
Oh, so she just like gets turned against her. Okay.
Yeah. So the stepmother every morning asks her magic mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest one of all? And the mirror always says the queen. But one day, obviously, she asks, and the mirror says Snow White is the fairest. And the queen gets angry, she grows jealous, and she like starts to hate her. So I guess like up to this point, like they were cool or like cool-ish.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, she starts to dislike her. Do you want to take a guess at how old Snow White was
Oh,
when she
Jesus.
apparently becomes the fairest of them
Fairest
all?
of them all.
I
Oh,
promise you, it's
no.
younger than we would even guess.
Oh, no. Okay. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Very compromising question. I'm going to say that they said she was like 7.
Yes, she's 7 years old.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That's
Isn't that
crazy.
nuts?
That's nuts.
She's 7 years old. She's apparently the most beautiful in all the land.
What is this mirror's
I don't.
criteria?
We need to get this mirror on some sort of list. That's not right.
Hey, did you see the mirror in the castle that popped up on Watchdog?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
no. Hey, I'm legally required to tell you that my mirror my mirror is not allowed to be hung within 300 meters of a school.
We have a school.
Sorry.
Oh man. All right. So the queen hires a huntsman, takes Snow White to the forest and kill her, and the queen wants him to bring back her heart as proof.
Jesus.
So the huntsman takes her out there.
Wait, okay. Wait. Her heart as proof? How would she know that that's her heart, though? That's like such an unidentifiable piece.
Yeah, I don't know, but that's what she says.
This guy could have like just killed like a deer or something. Like, yeah, this is it.
Hold on. So he takes her out there. Snow White, starts crying, and he's like starts feeling bad about it. And so she promises to like run away and never return if he spares her life. So he does. So he goes and kills a boar, and he brings back the boar's heart as proof.
There we go. Yeah, what a dumbass.
Which I will say,
dude. I could have seen that coming.
We always did when I was teaching biology. We always did pig's hearts, and that's because pig's hearts are like super closely, they're very, very similar to a human heart. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Snow White runs away. She finds a cottage that belongs to the 7 dwarfs. So the 7 dwarfs are still here. And she just kind of like lets herself in, I guess. And so she eats some of their food. She drinks some of their wine, and she ends up falling asleep in one of the beds. Now, again, here, I'm wondering, like, how long did the like stepmother resent her? Because I'm like, is she 7 years old drinking random people's wine?
Oh shit, you're right. She just goes in and drinks wine.
Like, I assume some time has passed here. I gotta believe that anyway.
Oh, you think?
I mean, I guess I could read the real one, but up to this point, there's no way to know.
Okay. Yeah,
I don't know how I'm supposed to know it.
Who's to say? That is true though. But it does make sense for like, a 7-year-old to just be like, oh, cool, like there's a house, I'll just like, use this and not question like, oh, there's probably people who are like here.
Yeah, there's probably 7 of them.
Yeah.
So she is asleep in the house. The dwarves come home. They are like, oh no, we've been robbed. They're like looking around, trying to figure it out. And they eventually, go up to their bedroom. They find her. And then she like explains the story of what happened. They like take pity on her, agree to let her stay in exchange for like her doing like housework while they're gone at work. And then they tell her specifically, don't ever let anyone in while they're away.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's the perfect cliffhanger to send us into a break. When we come back, we'll finish talking about what happens at the end of Snow White.
Let's take a quick break.
I'm Shay.
And I'm Jody.
And together, we host the Rainy Day Rabbit Holes podcast, a deep dive into the misty mysteries of the Pacific Northwest.
From the untold stories of eccentric pioneers to the secrets buried deep in the moss-covered forests, we take you on a not-so-serious journey through the quirky tales and hidden stories of the region.
On our show, you can hear great content like
Dr. Dewey's teachings propelled Linda Hazard into a lifetime career of starving people for money under the auspices of healing.
I could do that.
Run a cult or
both.
And thoughtful insights like
I think he was abducted by a drunken lumberjack, as usual.
Those drunken lumberjacks just abducting bears.
It was an epidemic.
From coffee pioneers Starbucks to feet on a beach and even Bigfoot, we have something for everyone.
So grab your latte and hit play. Listen, learn, and laugh with Rainy Day Rabbit Holes. See you down the rabbit hole.
So Snow White's just moved in with the 7 dwarves, and I guess all's going well so far. So the queen asks the mirror again, who's the fairest one of all, and he still says Snow White. And the mirror also says that she's living in a cottage in the woods, and like basically like rats her out.
What the hell, mirror?
Yeah.
How does it know?
I don't know. I don't know.
This lady is like, this queen is like underutilizing this mirror, man. That seems like so much power to just like know where people fucking are, like at all times.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And she's like just sitting there worried about it, like, well, the 7-year-old man is gonna be stealing my husband, man. Who's her dad?
Yeah. So she disguises herself and goes to the cottage, and she gives Snow White a corset kind of thing as a present. And she ties it on her, and she ties it way too tight that she can't breathe, and she faints. And so she leaves. The dwarves come home, and they end up loosening it in time to revive her.
Okay.
So then the queen comes back again, this time disguised as a comb seller. And I'm like, how many people were going around selling combs in Germany in the 1800s to the point where that's a job, you know, like it's its own job. I'm a comb salesman.
do you have any brushes? Nah, it's another guy.
No. Yeah. We got Randy for that one. That's Hans. Hans sells the brushes.
They're a different breed.
So she convinces Snow White to take the comb as a gift. It's poisoned, so when she puts the comb in her hair, Snow White faints again. Dwarves come home, remove the comb, everything's cool. And at this point, I would be having a very serious conversation. Like, stop opening the door. Yeah. Stop talking to random people. No one's coming out in the middle of the woods to sell you a comb.
Right,
Just stop. At this point, this is all your fault.
I didn't even question that part though, but you're right. Just going to this one random fucking house. How low density population is this place? Right. You want a comb?
Yeah. So,
or this lady coming and just happening to have like a corset to just like gift somebody.
Right. Jesus, she's just giving them away. But wait, there's more.
Yeah. You could have a comb too.
Yeah. So the queen comes back again, this time disguised as a farmer's wife. She offers Snow White an apple. And at this point, Snow White's starting to get a little leery. And she's like, I don't know. So the queen takes a bite of half of the apple, which is the unpoisoned side. And Snow White's, okay, I guess everything's cool. So then Snow White takes the other half, bites into it, it's poisoned. She immediately falls into a coma.
Okay, so is the poison on like the outside then?
Yeah, so there was like some discrepancy in the story that whether it was just like half of the apple was poisoned or that just the skin of the apple was poisoned. Because the queen cuts it in half and she specifically just bites the white part of her half.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So then it would probably just be the skin. That would make sense then.
So the dwarves come home. They can't revive her this time. She's just gone.
He's just dead.
And they end up placing her in a glass casket as a funeral. And I'm like, why would you put her in glass? Like, you're just gonna watch her decay and
what the hell? Also, who like
wither away?
Who has that? Aren't these just like miners?
They do glass blowing as a hobby, I think.
Yeah. God damn, that's a lot of blowing glass, man.
So I guess they just take her, put her in this casket, and they just like kind of like display her out in the woods.
Why?
And so a prince is on like a hunting trip or something. He finds her casket. Here's the story from the dwarves, and he and his men are like, all right, we're gonna take this. We're gonna take her back and put her in her proper resting place. So when they're doing that, this is again where we get a slight split in the story. So the original version.
They like figure out? Did they figure out like that she was like the princess then, or?
Yes, I think so. I think that because they're taking her back to the castle to like bury her there.
Okay. I would say, was she like has she been like reported missing?
Yeah, I don't know about that part.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there would be a lot of people out looking for her if the princess just disappears.
Well, maybe she was just reported. I bet she was reported dead because the queen assumed she was dead initially with the like pig's heart, and then she couldn't like admit, like, oh no, she's still alive. She probably just didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I would assume that's how I would play it anyway.
Yeah.
And
Not gonna be taking any apples from you.
The original version, the prince is like becomes like obsessed with her and has his men carry her around wherever he goes. And
In the
eventually
glass casket?
eventually one of the men gets like so frustrated, he like opens the case, pulls her out and shakes her in front of him and is like, like she's dead. Like look at her, she's not coming back to life. And when he does that, he dislodges the apple from her throat and she comes back to life.
What?
That's the original
What?
version.
What? So then what? She just like choked on it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just like keeping her in a coma, I guess. In the revised version, one of the men falls while they're carrying her, and it like jostles her case enough that it like shakes her, dislodges the apple, and she comes back to life.
Oh my gosh.
But there's no like, true love's first kiss thing here.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just
Okay, because isn't that
the
the
apple.
Disney thing?
Yes, which is super weird.
It is
So I'm like,
super weird.
Dude, you've never met this girl in your life.
And
She
you thought
might
she
be
was
7,
dead.
and she's dead.
Yeah.
In the Disney version, she's 14. Okay.
Oh yeah. Well.
I did look it up. She's 14 in the Disney version.
Jesus.
Yeah. So doesn't look good for the prince.
Yeah. How desperate are these princes getting, man? Jesus.
So she comes back alive. Prince immediately asks her to marry him, and she says yes. I don't know. So the queen again asks the mirror after all this and says, and the mirror says that a bride of a prince is fairer than she is. And at this point, I'm like, wait, hold on. So you were willing to like rat her out and say exactly her location, but now you're gonna play coy?
Yeah.
Yes, now you're gonna be like, some chick getting married to a prince, so I wouldn't worry about it. Come on.
Yeah.
So the queen goes to investigate this by going to the wedding. She quickly realizes that it's Snow White, so she tries to kill Snow White again. And the prince realizes that, the queen's obviously going to be a problem. So this is where I get really confused. He apparently orders the queen to wear a pair of red-hot iron slippers and to dance in them until she drops dead, which she does.
Right.
But I'm like,
What?
wait, hold on. You're a prince. She's a queen. Like, how are you telling her anything to do? Right?
And what is he the prince of?
I don't know. I
Like
assume it's got to be
another
some
country?
other
Another
kingdom.
nation?
Yeah, it's got to
Yeah.
be some other kingdom somewhere.
What the fuck?
But yeah, he has her wear red hot iron slippers and dance, and she dies.
Until
after
she
that-
dies.
And after the queen is dead, the wedding just goes on peacefully, and that's how it ends.
She's just dead out on the dance floor. Oh my god.
It reminds me, it's like a
I
very
wonder
like,
how long she make it.
I don't know.
Like,
Yeah, I
did
don't know how
people
many
play
little
music,
dances
or was
she
it
had to
just
do.
people like? Was it? Did they like play or something, or was it they're just like silent and people just watching until she fell over?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it all went down.
How they get them on her feet?
I don't know. I
And,
guess
like,
the
people hold her
blacksmith used
down?
those little those blacksmith used the little caliper things and just did it.
Right. Oh my god.
It's like much darker than
Let me
the
tell you, dude,
Disney version.
They don't write death scenes like that anymore, man.
No. Well, it kind of reminds me of the scene in Game of Thrones when Khal Drogo like puts a crown on top of he gives a golden crown to what's his face? Khaleesi's brother.
Right?
Is that his name?
Viserys?
Viserys, yeah, Viserys.
Viserys.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. Of like, all right, well, here you go. It's just like, jeez, it's a terrible way to go.
Yeah, Viserys. Okay.
The other thing about the dancing, or like, okay, just like severely burning your feet wouldn't kill you, right? So it was just like she died from the like exhaustion of dancing. Like they just made her dance that long,
Or embarrassment.
or of maybe of just being the second fairest of them all. I don't know what it was.
Well, that's funny too, because at that point, then before she realized it was Snow White again, she thought it was like she thought she was at least third then,
Yeah,
because she assumed
That's
it was
true.
another person who went second to another person. But also, like, god dang, like how hot is this queen then?
yeah. I wish I knew how old she was, but I'm. You know what I'm gonna say? I think, given the fact that Snow White is 7 for at least some chunk of this story, I'm like maybe the queen is like 22, you know, and she's like, she's
yeah.
still clearly young. Like,
Yeah,
she's gonna
that's
be,
true.
she would have been okay.
Dude,
Like,
that's
she's not
true,
like,
man.
you know, 60 of like, oh,
Right.
okay, clearly I'm not, you know, what I used to be, but
Yeah. Dude, that's true. I didn't even ever consider that. Holy crap,
yeah,
dude. Yeah.
I'm guessing she's also pretty young. At least in our current age standards, but who knows?
All right. Well, my stomach's starting to set in with the feeling a little bit of bleeding, shock, and bacterial super infection in my stomach because
Yeah,
I
you got blisters all over your body.
down to that death apple, man. It's been gone.
So I got one review for it. Bought a couple bottles over the summer, and it's like the best cinnamon apple pie shot. Doing some hot toddies with it now, and the weather is getting cooler. Dude, I bet this is a great hot toddy drink.
Ooh, yeah. I bet it make you feel much better.
Have you ever actually had a hot toddy?
I haven't.
I haven't either.
It's something that you just drink when you're like sick, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I've never looked more forward to the next time I get sick than before now.
Yeah, can't wait to build up some mild congestion.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. As always, if you want to like or subscribe, please follow us on Instagram at shortpourpodcast or send us a suggestion through email at shortpourpod@gmail.com.
And as always, whether you pour short
Or pour long.
always finish.